Hello, this is Lego Lynn with another kit for you today. Usually we'll be focusing on vintage or more fantasy themed kits, but there are exceptions. The Windship was made in 1997. It was part of the Fright Night series, and was also known as the Hubble Bubbles Dragonair in the UK, which I just kind of think that name is hilarious. Fright Nights lasted from 97 to 98. In the US, they pictured Basil the Batlord, one of the characters in there, as a villain along with Wilma as friends. In Europe, though, they were enemies, with Basil being the hero. Either way, I think Basil's a better hero. I like the Black Knight hero, personally. I loved Lego Castle as a kid, but there was no series I loved more than the Fright Nights. Edgy 14-year-old me loved the bats, ghosts, skeletons, and dragons, as well as Basil and Wilma, and that were used in the sets. And on top of that, Basil started my love of the Black Knight trope. In fact, it was because of him I really got into the whole corrupted knight feel of things. We're going to actually open this up. I am surprised I'm finding sealed kits. And I paid way more for this now than I did when I was a kid. I won't lie. But I can't wait to put it together again. So as we open it up, we're going to see what some old 90s kits look like. As a tip, fingernail polish and putting Legos together do not work. Something I'm learning today. So, as we can already see, we have the dragon piece. We have the sides of the airship. The Lego Maniac Club, which I was a member of. The little advertisements that show all the stuff. And then our instruction manual. And big one, our tub, and Wilma's cape. Wilma doesn't always come with a cape, but this was one of the. This is like the middle ground beginning. Like, it was an $8 kit, which means it'd be like a $15 kit now. Which I don't want to admit how much I spent on it. I mean, being vintage Lego can get up there in cost. But with the dragon, it's not actually going to be the dragon itself. She's using the dragon's body as a gondola. As a kid, I didn't get this. Or it's like the air bladder. I didn't get this as a kid, and, this kit didn't stay together that long when I was younger because I liked playing with the dragon. But as an adult, I'm like looking at it and it's like, this is such a cool idea. And there's a lot more of the dark presence. Now this is steps 1 and 2. Obviously muscle memory kicked in because I have put the set together. And honestly, I probably put the Fright Night sets back together way more than any of the other sets. So we're going to put Wilma's cape on. Man, everything's so crisp in this. I'm lucky that the buyer I found this online really took care of the box and everything. I really want to give that feeling of like the vintage or the older Lego sets. I mean, because this was 97. You're looking at, this is 23 years old. And there's the hat. Yay. Right, now going back to the actual airship. Oh, let's give her wand and her broom. Because, what's a witch without her tools of the trade? Again, as a kid, I didn't appreciate the broom. But, as I said, I was edgy at that age. I think a lot of us were. So we're going to take this 2x6, and it acts as kind of like the seat inside. Giving Wilma somewhere to stand. And then the little round doohickeys, these the yellow ones, are going on the bottom here. This is kind of like her landing gears. Now the 2 tall 1x2s go in here like this. And it'll give you kind of like that. Next up, we're going to take the gray 2x2s and put them on here. And then take, each side gets one of the red grippies. There, let it snap into place. So, look like that. And we're still on step 4. There's a lot of steps in this that just whiz through. So one of the sides will get these two, marking, or eventually marking the front or back. I can't remember which. And then put the 1x2 there, and these 1x4 too tall right here. So that takes us to step 5, which is page 5. The end of page 5 looking like that. We're actually very close to the end of this kit. This kit is only 59 pieces, so it's a smaller kit. Now we're going to put together the hinges. Oh man, I haven't put one of these together in decades. Not the thicker ones, at least. I put together a kit maybe about 4 years ago that had some, but they were the thinner ones and were a lot easier to put together. So putting it together like this, and then we're going to put the little red safety lights on the back, which I just think is cool that she actually has those. Then the little upwards grippies, great upward grippies, and her crystal ball. Again, I didn't appreciate this kit as much as I wish I did when I was a kid, but I appreciate the pieces a lot. Next up, we're putting on these. The masting or whatever it's called on the airship or a balloon. Alright. Next up, this is the fun part. This is where we actually start making all the magic happen and connect the air bladder to it. So I'm putting the two red grippies on one of the whole ones, and then a third red grippy with a wing. Now we're going to do that on the opposite end, or the opposite direction, for the other wing. And as I said, and I've mentioned a couple times, this is actually where I didn't appreciate it, because the wings weren't attached to the dragon. I thought it should have been more like the dragon was a steed that was pulling it, but they did give the options on the box. They gave 3 ways to build on the box. But as an adult, I think this is just the coolest idea. Now I attached it to the dragon early, just because that helps me with sizing, but tells you to attach these first. Oops. There's a reason why they tell you to do that. It would have been easier. But I have to do things the hard way. Now we got our little air bladder up there. We get to add the ship's weaponry, which is another thing that I took off right away and was playing with because I loved these halberds. These were pretty new at the time. I just collected the Lion King stuff, or the Knight's Kingdom, or whatever they were called at the time. Where it was the king with the lion emblem and the silver sword that looked like Excalibur, and I had some Dragon Knight stuff. I had some of the Merlin looking dude. And this is what we get. And we're at the end of the kit. As you can tell, it was one of the more creative kits in my opinion. It was a flying machine for the medieval set, and the Fright Nights start exploring a lot of the more supernatural and fantastical end of the Castle series. You already had some dragons prior, but not that many, as well as the skeletons and the ghosts coming in, and of course the witches and the Black Knights. It was just a series that I loved, and I hope to be able to bring you guys some more of these. Well, I'd like to thank you for visiting us today. remember to hit that like button, and if you haven't, sub and ring the bell for more fantasy content. If you would like to support the channel, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/LondonQuinn. I will try to remember to put in the comments, and have a beautiful day.